One of the challenges of working with a document which has a lot of layers is selecting the correct layer to work on. And so here, I want to highlight a few shortcuts that you can use which will help you to select, target, and move your layers. Now, these are photographs that I captured of the front doors of these interesting beach shacks that I came across in the UK while I was on a trip. And I was fascinated by the locks and the colors, so I got up close and I captured a number of images. And I wanted to create a layout grid with all of these different colors, and you can see the end result here. Yet what I want to do next is mix things up a bit. I want to move a few images around. So here, let's say that we want to move the orange layer to another position. Well, I could, of course, go to the Layers panel. I could look for the layer which is named orange. I could try to find that layer and then click and move it. In this case, I selected the wrong orange layer. Well, that often happens when we have a document with a lot of layers. So here I'll press Command-Z on a Mac or Control-Z on Windows in order to undo that. And a lot of times when we have a lot of layers, frankly, we aren't naming our layers very well, so it's really hard to find those layers. A better way to select a layer is to hold down the Command key on a Mac or Control key on Windows and then to click on the layer. Here, as I do that, you can see that in my Layers panel, it's jumping around to the different layers that I'm selecting. So hold down the Command key on a Mac, Control on Windows, and then click on this orange image here. Next, I want to reposition that, so I'll go ahead and click and drag this over to the right. Well, now that this is over to the right, it's underneath this door here, which is blue. Well, if I want to move the blue door over, hold down Command or Control and then click. In doing that, I can then reposition this over to the right. And in this way, I can start to shuffle things around. Now, let's say that I've decided I actually want to move this orange door here up to where the pink one is. Again, Command on the Mac, Control on Windows, click on that, and then click and drag it up to this position. Now, in doing that, I have it up in this position underneath where the pink photograph is. Yet let's say that I accidentally select another layer. For example, I select the yellow layer. Then I decide that what I want to do is actually move the orange layer. Well, if I Command or Control click now, it's only going to give me the pink layer because the pink layer is covering the orange layer. Well, wouldn't it be great if there was a way to select a layer which is underneath one of your other layers? Well, there is. All that you need to do is to right-click or Control-click. When you do that, it will list whatever layers are immediately underneath your cursor. In this case, we have pink or orange. Here I'll select orange. It will then target or select that layer, and then I can click and drag and bring this back to the other position over here. So in this way, when you right-click or Control-click, you can quickly select layers if you have layers which overlap. And you know what? The reality of it is, in most situations, you do. Yet that being said, I find that knowing both of these shortcuts speeds up my workflow immensely. So again, to review, hold down Command on the Mac, Control on Windows in order to click on different layers and to select those layers. Or if ever you have overlap, right-click or Control-click. That will then open up a contextual menu which will list the layers immediately under the area that you've clicked. Here you can go ahead and select the layer that you want to work on and then make the adjustment that you need to make to that layer.